Today I am going to run through all of the different types of Google Ads campaign structures, the different options that are available to you when you hit that button to create a new campaign in Google Ads, so that you can come up with a better combination of them to get the best results possible. This is really important to get right, because if you pick the wrong one, there's some real kind of like traps here that Google leaves for you to basically like ruin your results. There's some options that genuinely I've never ever seen them work for anybody if you click on them. So this is an important video to run through. I'm going to try and be quite concise with it. My name is Max Sinclair, by the way. I run Snowball Creations. We are a paid ads agency, so I do this for a living. And I kind of help figure out which campaigns are right for which different businesses all the time. So ultimately, this is something that hopefully I should do a good job for you of giving you some kind of overarching kind of guidance on which for each of these campaigns might be right for your kind of business. So let's get started. Number one, this is the one that is your bread and butter. It is search. So search is when you type into Google, I want to get, a new coffee machine. You type in coffee machine, and then you see some ads at the top of the search results. So there's it varies on how many, maybe none, but up to roughly, I think it's 4 normally that you would at maximum see. And so those are expanded search, expanded text ads, or they are responsive text ads. So either way, these are pulled in, and there's some at the bottom of the page as well. They are in the search results. So that's why ultimately you have them there. So these really, you're going to get great returns from these. They're, in most cases, they're quite like general purpose. So there's most types of businesses would do well with a search campaign as long as they Google your kind of offering. That's the main thing to think about, because it is a demand-based thing in terms of you only can ever show up with an advert if somebody has specifically searched for that particular thing. So you can't go and chase them down wherever they are in their life because they have to actively be doing it. But that does mean that it has really high buying intent, really high demand to solve the problem that they're currently Googling for, because you've got them in the exact right moment to solve that. So very often I will use a search campaign as part of the kind of combination I'd use for one of my Google Ads clients. Probably 90% of the time we'll have a search campaign involved. Number two, display campaigns. So display campaigns are all of those kind of images or videos that you see stuck on the side of like a news website or a blog, or just all over the place. These kind of classic adverts that you see on sides or within the text all over the place through the internet. So these display ads, really, they do not convert that greatly. They're really made for brand awareness, or what I most often use them for is remarketing. So if you have a budget of say £5,000 per month, for example, and you're going to spend say 4,800 of that on the search campaigns, and they're getting you great returns, maybe if you're limited by budget and you've kind of run out of ways to spend any more in your search campaigns, you might then use a display campaign to run some remarketing. So what that will do is you'll create a custom audience of anybody that's gone to your website, for example, and then market to them through the display network. The reason for this is ultimately display is much lower quality, it's much broader, it goes out to much bigger groups of people, and people are much less likely to click on it. It's much less targeted, much lower demand, like buying intent compared to search. So it's harder to get real actual returns directly from it, but it's a good kind of complementary channel. Number three, shopping. So shopping is really, really good, but it's quite niche for a certain thing, unsurprisingly, for shopping, for e-commerce. So if you're in e-commerce, again, you're pretty likely, I would say most times, probably like maybe 80% of the time, I would do some kind of shopping campaign if you're working with us and you work in e-commerce. The great thing about shopping, what it actually is it's those ads along the top. So again, if I typed in coffee machine, there is a line nowadays of images with various coffee machines which are on sale. It gives the price, it gives any kind of discounts, it gives the store's information, and it compares them all for you within Google Shopping. So this is really powerful for e-commerce because there is images and it's right at the top. So Google Shopping is very often one of the big performers for e-commerce clients that we work with. It's also really helpful if you have kind of quite a unique look to your product and people need to see it in particular, because shopping is one of the few places within Google where there's a lot of image-based like real estate to show yourself off. So if you've got a aesthetic that matters, like fashion, for example, this can be especially helpful. Number 4, video. So video is across places like YouTube. So the Google Ads network is not just Google, but it's also YouTube. Sorry, just to interrupt, could you just hit that subscribe button quickly for me? Yeah, yeah. Thanks. So when you want to, for example, really, if you're a business that's good at video, you should be thinking about using video, unsurprisingly.
Wow.
So, for example, in a B2B situation, if you are some kind of a coach, like us, for example, we might do videos on YouTube to try and promote our business and tell our story really well, and then that pulls customers in. YouTube can be very cheap. It's grown significantly recently, so there is some really great opportunities with it, but you do need a kind of unique skill set to be able to make very good quality video, is what I would say. So there's a slightly higher kind of entry point to achieving results with it. Number 5 is apps. So app campaigns. If you want to basically push downloads to apps, this is the campaign for you. I'll admit I've never run these myself. We have built audiences for app downloads through Facebook ads before, but I've never personally used Google Ads. I'm sure it could work. I can't say either way though, but definitely give it a try if that is your goal. Number 6, smart campaigns. So this is very important. They are not smart. Whenever you really see smart in Google, just assume it means dumb, because very often that's the case. Ultimately, what smart means is it just throws everything else out and it just says, we're going to run your campaign for you. You just say, I want X in the simplest possible format, and then Google just runs out there. It spends however it wants. It goes on whichever platform it wants. It does whatever the hell it wants and tries to get you results. And they say that that works out because they have this great Google AI that's going to like figure it all out for you, but it doesn't. We've seen this time and time again. It does not. It never gets results. I've never ever seen a smart campaign, a completely smart campaign, which has actually given results. So do not use smart campaigns. That's a very important lesson here. It's a kind of mine in the kind of journey through this system that you might think it's a good idea to pick that option. I did myself. When I very first opened my first Google Ads account many years ago, I thought that a smart campaign might be a smart move, but it was not. Number 7 is local. So local, unsurprisingly, for local businesses. So this is for things like, you get loads of other features around local. So your location, your opening times, loads of other great stuff. So if you are a local business, use local campaigns. It's as simple as that, really. Number 8. So 8 is discovery. So discovery is can go over things like YouTube and lots of other places. It's really a case of discovery. So we use one for ourselves as a simple way to understand it for YouTube. So we have a discovery campaign running for YouTube where people will be going to their homepage on YouTube, and with our certain targeting we have set up. So if people are interested in, say, business, or they've already kind of searched keywords otherwise in YouTube or something, we will show up as a discovery advert. So it's a video that we have showing up, which is a kind of trailer for me personally, talking about what I would talk about. And we only pay if people click on my video and actually watch it. So it's quite an efficient way to get your image and brand out there to quite large numbers and find new audiences for a relatively low cost. And the very last one, this is actually new. This only came out recently. It's called Performance Max. This is like named after me. So obviously it's maximum, it's the greatest, it's the best. Or is it? No, it's not. Performance Max is a bit like smart campaigns on steroids. Performance Max says, I'm not even gonna pick whether I want search or display or shopping. It's just like, I just want any campaign. I'm going to let Google do literally everything for me. I'm going to just plug my business in. I'm going to stick a bunch of things in, and then Google's going to do all the work for me. This would be the dream for Google, of course, and it would be the dream for everybody if it worked, but it doesn't work. This is not an effective strategy because Google's not smart enough yet to do all of this work for you. This is ultimately why I have a business, is because people come to us because they struggle to get past 1 times return on their investment, and we get them up to that 4 to 15 times return on investment. So if it was the case that super performance max kind of campaign worked, then we would be out of business. And ultimately, people could just press a button, turn on Google Ads, and it would make them 10 times return on investment. But if that was the case also, where has the world got to? It's pretty mad, and like anyone would do it all the time. So it's not there yet. And ultimately, the complexity making good, smart decisions around how you run your Google Ads will outperform Google itself for now. So that's all of the different campaigns available to you. Hopefully this has been helpful. If you need more guidance on which to pick, please do get in touch. I'm always available. Leave it in the comments and ask away, and I'll give you some guidance on your business. Just let me know what your company is maybe, and I can give you a little hint in the right direction. Or get in touch. We love to help people get to that, 10 times plus ROAS. We're doing about 4.3 on average for our clients right now. And otherwise, I will see you next Wednesday. 2, 3, 4, 5.